One. A to Jet Noise, how are you today? Thanks for joining me. A very special edition of the A to Jet Noise program. A couple of years ago, my mom was crazy, was adamant about me meeting a young man that was coming to Cleveland in his truck. He was doing some work, and he had announced that he was coming to Cleveland. And this amazing truck, um, the Lowe's, he had adorned it with Lowe Syndrome boys, the names of Lowe Syndrome boys. And if you know me, you know that my son indeed has Lowe Syndrome, and my son's name was obviously on that truck. So my mom was adamant about me meeting Thomas Sullivan, and I went and I saw Thomas Sullivan. He was a great guy. Um, Welcome, Thomas Sullivan. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Hey, man. You say you have a new foundation, the Waylon Sullivan Foundation. Um, the Waylon Sullivan Foundation. Now, I know Lowe Syndrome has its own foundation, and they're into the research, and I'm trying to find some answers for us as far as Lowe Syndrome is concerned. But the Waylon Sullivan Foundation, that is named after your son, and it's not necessarily doing the same thing. It's touching something different. Why don't you explain that to us?
I'll be more than happy to. So basically, a couple months ago, I was off work for a while,
Okay.
and I had this idea pop in my head late one night, and I kind of thought it was silly at first, but after about a week or so, it was still pretty heavy on my mind. During that time that I was off, we had a couple of low syndrome boys pass away,
Mm,
and I'd heard through the grapevine that one of the boys did not have life insurance. Um, I'm sure low syndrome parents know how hard and a struggle it is to even get life insurance
absolutely.
on our boys, because they want to deny them because of their
Your
condition.
condition, yeah, absolutely.
Um, so I had the idea. Um, First, it started off as just opening up a checking account and doing that. And after I talked to some board members of the LSA about if it was a great idea and
Hmm.
what's the best way to approach this, then they told me I needed to open up a foundation, and that's what we did. It's the Waylon Sullivan Foundation, and all what we intend to do with the Waylon Sullivan Foundation is number one, uh, give back during times of hardship. Number one, try to help with funeral expenses. Number two,
Mm,
I know most of these boys, their medical stuff is covered for the most part, but we do realize that there's some stuff out there that these boys may need
hmm.
that insurance won't cover.
Okay.
So we're willing to step in and help out there. Third, there's a there's several um, single low syndrome parents,
Hmm.
and we know firsthand that if one of our boys goes in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks, that's 2 or 3 weeks that parent has went without income. So
Yeah.
it's also there too to where if that parent's in a bind, they could fill out an application
Hmm.
and we could possibly help them, maybe pay their rent
Hmm.
or maybe buy them some groceries or something,
That's tremendous.
just something to help during these trial times.
Yeah, yeah. I know that. Like, and my son Irvin was just in and out of the hospital late last year, and just the little things that people were doing to help. They just even it was just even just buying us lunch. Just making a call to Chipotle and having food ready for us. We could just stop off and pick it up. That was huge. That was tremendous. So I can imagine. I can imagine what something like a fund like the Waylon Sullivan Foundation is is set up to is set up to do. I can imagine just how helpful and just how reassuring that is, as far as as far as being a low syndrome parent is.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Obviously it's kind of one of them things we hope that
Mm.
we don't have to use it very often.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the reality. There's there's some people out there that probably need help,
Mm-hmm.
and if we're able to, we need to help them.
Absolutely.
We are a family.
Yeah.
Um, you noticed on the side of my truck, it says the Lowe's family, and it's
Yeah.
got all the lists of the boys on it.
Mm-hmm.
And just about everywhere I go, people's like, "Wow, that's your family," and I'm just like, "Yeah." It pretty
That's
much
a
is
big
because
family. That's a
we are a
terrible
family,
Christmas.
right? We are a family.
Yeah,
With the page that's on social media, um, just about all of us know each other's
it's
boys'
true.
conditions and what's going on, and it's we're a big family,
Yeah.
and um, I'm happy or humble to be blessed. Our boy does have a small life insurance policy. We actually found a company that would give him one. It's
That's
it's
fantastic.
expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got one.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously he would, never need anything from the foundation.
Yeah.
We're humbly blessed, and why not do our part to pass that on to somebody else and just try to help during those times of burden.
Yeah, absolutely. We should be, if you have, you should help. I mean, I always I yeah, I feel humble when I say it, but I say you kind of should give until it hurts a little bit. Um, and I'm not saying that anyone should just tap themselves out, but if you can help in any way in any situation, by all means. The Waylon Sullivan Foundation. How do people donate?
Well, we've actually just launched our website, and
Okay,
it's www.waylonsullivanfoundation.com.
okay. Waylon
There's
Sullivan, all one word then.
Yes, all
One
together,
word. Okay, okay,
waylonsullivanfoundation.com.
okay.
And you can actually check out some pictures of the boys under the media section.
Awesome.
We've got like a little photo gallery uploaded in there. I think there's close to 30.
Mm,
So people that's not familiar with Lowe Syndrome, they can actually go in there and they can see some pictures of the kids and
mm,
kind of see what we're up against. Um, there's a donation section, and there's a couple pictures of Waylon in there, and it kind of tells you what we strive to do.
yeah.
But that's the best way at this point.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about the Low Syndrome boys is that they're very comedic, and Waylon is one of my favorite comedians.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, the videos that Wendy posts are amazing. Speaking of Wendy, how is she doing?
Other than tired,
Hmm.
she's good.
Yeah,
Um, I'm
it's
always
tough on
on
the
the
moms.
road, and over the last couple months being home,
Hmm.
um, due to some difficulties out on
Hmm.
the road, but
Hmm.
um, being home with her and actually being here all day, every day, all night, every night,
Hmm.
and seeing what she kind of goes through, it's just like, wow. And
Yeah,
she does this without me.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
The last couple of weeks, Waylon's been in this thing to where he's not sleeping. He'll go to bed around 8:30,
Mm.
and he's up at midnight, and he's up to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Uh,
Um, so I'm kind of glad I've been home so I could be
hmm.
able to help her. We've been kind of taking turns doing night shift. But I couldn't imagine her doing that with me out on the road.
No,
But
man.
it's
and they do
it's
it.
tough on her. But
The,
she's doing good. She's tired, but she's doing good.
I bet you she is. I bet she. Yeah, my wife experiences the same thing, and even today, we ended up putting at one point we ended up have to. Well, actually, we still using melatonin to help him sleep, and it seemed to do the trick.
It has no effect on Waylon
Yeah,
whatsoever.
because Waylon's
They
a
they
tough
told
guy.
us to they told us to give him pretty much the max amount that he was allowed.
Have you
And
tried whiskey yet?
no, no, I ain't done that. um, but he just got diagnosed with his first seizure this past week,
Mm,
and they put him on a medicine, and the medicine seems to kind of keep him where he's sleepy, but he just won't go to sleep.
mm.
If that makes any sense,
Yeah,
he's
no, I can imagine because they do get groggy, but for some reason, these boys are good at fighting things that they don't want to do.
oh, they are,
Yeah,
and they will let you know that they
yeah,
don't like it.
yeah. Yeah, they will cross that line.
Yep,
So
there ain't
so
no doubt.
so let's get a little history, man. I mean, when did you guys when Waylon was born, did they know just immediately that he was experiencing Lowe syndrome? Did they do what was it testing maybe that they did? I know because like the reason I ask is like Irvin's 25. Irvin's 25 years old, and back then it was like that's a million years ago. But back then they literally had to. It took them like over a month to tell us what the condition was. They had to literally take a little skin graft from his rear end and then send it to Texas. And then about a week and a half later is where they told us that he had exactly Lowe syndrome. How did that
Right.
experience happen for you guys?
With us, it was about a 6 month process.
Mm.
Um, about a month in, we kind of pointed it out to the doctor, and his pediatrician was like, "Yeah, I've been noticing that too." He said, "I thought that was kind of odd. I thought it was maybe something else." And
Mm.
um, he said, "But I'm pretty sure he's got cataracts."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we were like, "What? A baby having
Mm-hmm.
cataracts? What?" You know. So he preferred us over to Children's at UAB in Birmingham,
Mm-hmm.
and we met a doctor there, and they did all the poking and prodding and did genetics testing, and
Mm-hmm.
with the I think it was the kidney levels. She had called us one night and she said, "Look," she said, "I'm not trying to alarm y'all, but this is what I think it's going to be. But we're still waiting on some other stuff to come through." She said, "So just be prepared." But it was about a 6 months process. There was
Okay.
a lot of testing and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of genetic testing, and my wife is not a Lowe syndrome carrier, so Waylon is considered a new mutation.
Wow,
So
that's really wild. So I was just gonna say, so when did she find out that she's a carrier, and here she's not one?
that was, I'm gonna say that was around maybe the seventh, 8th month mark. It was after he was diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
because that's when they knew that hey, this is genetic. Low syndrome is
Mm-hmm.
genetic, and which is good news for our oldest daughter,
Mm-hmm.
Riley.
Okay.
To know that Wendy's not a carrier, so Riley is not in any harm of
Mm-hmm.
passing that trait on when she gets ready to have kids, or
Okay.
if she ever has kids. Uh, but yeah, Waylon is considered a new mutation, and as far as I know, that's just a time will tell type
Mm-hmm.
thing. We may see something totally different than the rest of the parents seen, and we
Mm-hmm.
may not. We just have to watch him grow and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. That's fascinating to me. It's like two different worlds because what we knew, you can, is that if you check the mother's eyes, you will see these floaters in her eyes. Of course, you have to literally have the tools in order to do that, but you'll see these
Right.
floaters in their eyes, and that is an indication that they would be a carrier. But Wendy didn't have the floaters. Did they check the floaters for her in her eyes or anything like that?
I'm not real sure. I think they just did a bunch of blood work on that.
Okay. Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. It is. It's like a different world for us because that's we were again. I mean, we're talking 25 years ago, and that's what we know is that.
I'll tell you something that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Shoot.
Um, is new parents, they see the post about the truck and everything. Well, I had a post or a message about, I'm gonna say, about 7, 8 months ago. This lady messaged me. She said, "Hey, I was just wondering if you'd put my boy's name on the truck." And I said, "Okay, well, what's his name?" And
Mm.
she told me. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, how old is he?" She's like, "Well, he's not born yet. I'm due." It was like 3 months
Wow.
from when she messaged me, and I'm like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
already know?" I said, "How do you know that your baby's got Lowe syndrome?" And she's like, "Well, you could see it in the what the where they scan you. What like
In
lost
the yeah in the oh
ultrasound or
yeah in the
whatever it
ultrasound.
is."
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, that they could see it then that the baby had cataracts. And I'm
Wow.
like, wow, that is amazing. You
That
know,
that's really wild. I mean, because when we got an ultrasound, the doctor was just like they could tell that there was something that was not. I hate to say normal, but that's exactly what the doctor was saying. That
right,
there's not necessarily anything normal. There's something that was askew in while he was in the womb. So we had an idea that he was going to come out with some sort of special needs, but this was all new. There was no Lowe Syndrome family. Um, it, it was the very beginning stages of the Lowe Syndrome family because it
right.
really,
I
really
couldn't
rare.
imagine.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine what the older kids, like Irv and
yeah,
some of these families that their kids are older.
yeah. There's some
Um,
of them. Yeah, we just lose one that was
y'all
like
y'all were
39 or
probably
something like that.
y'all were probably kind of alone,
Yeah,
back then. You didn't have the big family
yeah,
support group probably what you have now because of social media and
yeah.
stuff like that.
We had gotten like a little booklet. It was like a little booklet in the mail once, and it had like a list of maybe, I don't know, 200 boys or something along that lines.
Wow.
And the closest one, there's a city called Eastlake here up in Ohio, and it's not too far away from where we were staying at the time. And but I don't think we ever got to meet that particular person. But when we got online, we did. I think we did find them online, and we were able to start at least chatting. And then the LSA just kind of grew like immediately. As soon as somebody said, "Hey, you can get online," and there's a support group, as far as Facebook is concerned, it grew immediately, and it was heartwarming to see because we knew how kind of lonely we felt when Irvin was born, and not really anyone around us to connect with or share experiences with, and again, it was heartwarming to see. But we had already been through it for a little while, and so we were kind of running. We hit the ground running when it came to the Lowe Syndrome family. So,
Right.
so
And I know there.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and I know I've noticed over. I've been working on this truck for 2 years. Add names and trying to make it even prettier every chance I get. But
Yeah, I was gonna say talk more about the truck. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this on the Lowe Syndrome family page or on my page, Ada Jet Noise, or on my original page, it is this great looking black truck. Just to kind of give you a visual, and of course I'll have pictures along with this audio. Um, it's this great looking black truck with these little yellow glasses on there. And you can, just like Thomas had mentioned before, the boys are born with cataracts, so all of them end up with some glasses. And this black truck covered in these yellow glasses, and each frame has the boy's first name and last name in there. Tell us more about this truck, Thomas.
well, it's a 2015 Kenworth,
Okay.
and basically when we found out that Waylon had Lowe syndrome, I was like, oh man, I want to do something special for Waylon. And when we got on the parents page on social media, I seen all the pictures of the boys and what they were going through, and I'm just like, man, this is so much bigger than Waylon,
Mm,
and I'd like to do something nice for all of them.
mm,
And that's when I pitched my idea, and it blowed up. Um, I think I've got 214 names on the truck now.
mm,
Um, but basically, like I said, it's 2015 Kenworth. It's T680
mm,
black. Everything's done in yellow. Um, it's got a custom grill in it that was made by Roadworks. And the holes in the grill are actually little individual cutout sunglasses
yeah.
to match the ones that's on the side of the truck.
Oh
So
man.
it's pretty neat. It was a custom piece. And of course, I've added just about all the chrome and lights you could probably put on a
Yeah,
big
what's
truck.
there's a if you guys ever see this, if you ever see it going in the cab going down the road, you're gonna see his taillights, or I should say the X, the big X.
Right,
Explain the X.
The X in the back of the sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did that for two reasons. One, nobody ever does an X in the back of their sleeper. They
Mm-hmm.
usually do some kind of H pattern or something like that
Mm-hmm.
when guys add lights. But I did mine in an X for one because it was different,
Mm.
and two, that X represents the X chromosome, which these boys are missing a link of.
You
So
blew me away
that's
when
pretty unique to the truck.
yeah, you blew me away when you said that. I was just like, oh my god, that's got to be the coolest part on the truck, other than the boys' names, of course. But
Right.
the X on the back of there, it's a great looking truck, folks. I mean, if you're ever on the road and you see a black truck going down the road with a bunch of little yellow glasses on there, you'll know you're running to Thomas. Speaking of running, I heard you had a little accident.
Oh man.
What happened there,
Woo,
man?
you gonna get my blood pressure up now. Oh, it was a stupid accident. You know, I just left home and drove 80 miles, got loaded. It was on a Saturday night, and I was in the right lane on the interstate down in Tuscaloosa,
Mm,
Alabama, and this guy in a black Mustang was probably about 30 yards ahead of me.
mm.
And you know, we're running interstate speeds, and he just stomps it to the floor. And it'd been raining all day, so the pavement was wet, and he fishtailed and
Of course he
hit
did.
the wall on the left side and then come back across all three lanes and hit me right in the driver door.
Uh,
And yeah, it tore my battery box and fuel tank straps, my def box. It tore all that up. It was about $16,000 worth of damage.
and the worst part is like you saw it coming.
Yeah, and I think I'm more angry about it than I am anything. You
Mm-hmm.
know, one, I'm very protective of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, because obviously this truck means a lot to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very protective of the truck. And it was just a stupid accident that should have never
Yeah,
happened. You
absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. So along with the X, we can look for a Mustang you have hanging off the side of the truck. So you'll know that this time is going down the street.
wow.
You guys got a new addition to the family. Now, he's not necessarily new, but he is adopted and it was just made official not too long ago, isn't it, right?
That is correct. He is 5 now,
Okay.
but we've had him ever since he was released from the hospital.
Okay. And
He was
Carter's the
born
name, right?
Carter. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
he was born addicted to heroin,
Oh.
and if we didn't take him, he was going to be awarded to the state.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, me and Wendy, we were having trouble having a kid together. And we was like, well, you know, maybe this is what God wants us to do. You know, let's give this boy a home, and you know, we'll love him and take care of him. And you know, 5 years later, we finally get everything done. The mother didn't even respond, which just made the process just
That much easier.
breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a breeze.
Mm-hmm. Was
So
the mother
luckily
someone
we
you
didn't.
knew, or
Um, it
not?
was
They
a
don't have to get personal.
relative. It was
Okay.
a relative by marriage
Okay.
on my wife's side.
Okay. Okay. Well, God bless you guys, man. It's addicted to heroin. That's exactly what
Yeah,
this.
it was. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna tell you, we thought we made a mistake. The first 6 months of that was
Mm,
brutal. Um, we thought Waylon's sleeping behaviors was bad, but
mm,
there was times to where he would just cry and cry and cry. He wouldn't eat. You couldn't console him. You couldn't do nothing. No matter what you did, he would just scream, and that was brutal. I don't wish that on my worst enemy to
mm,
have to experience that, but you know, now he's, like I said, he's 5.
mm.
He's in kindergarten, smart as a whip. He um
Tremendous.
he took some kind of test a couple of weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
that all kindergartners, I guess, in the U.S. have to take them, and he scored 80 higher than 86% of the kindergartners that took that test, and
Mm.
that he was 8 months ahead of where he should be as a kindergartner.
Man, that is a testament to his parents. God bless you guys. That really is. That you and Wendy have honestly you've saved a life, and
Right.
that is it's an incredible that is a testament to you guys that he is on the road on such a good road right now, and no doubt that'll continue for you and
We'll
and
definitely
Carter.
always do our best.
Yeah,
You
that,
know, that's all we can do. And I know sometimes kids don't always go down the right path,
yeah,
but you know, you just got to do your best. You know,
yeah.
raise them right, and
Indeed, a blessing. Carter sounds like a blessing, and you and Wendy are definitely a blessing to Carter, Riley, and our man Waylon. Uh,
right.
and tell us again how we can make these donations to the Waylon Sullivan Foundation.
The easiest way is our website
Hmm.
www.waylonsullivanfoundation.com.
Okay.
We do have a Facebook page that we just recently opened. It should be approved by Facebook now.
Hmm.
We were working on that to get it verified through Facebook. But you should be able to search it, the Waylon Sullivan Foundation
Hmm. And if it's
Incorporated, and
approved, if it's definitely approved by Facebook, then it is obviously a legitimate monster foundation. It's ready to go. All his tax forms are in are in line in the way it's supposed to be. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, and we had to do that through the PayPal too,
Okay.
because the website runs through PayPal,
Mhm.
because PayPal is obviously the probably the most secure way of sending money that there is,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
So even the website kind of runs through PayPal, and
Mhm.
I had to send PayPal all the documents and
Mhm.
all that stuff to set it up as a business related account. So
Tremendous. Thomas, thank you so much for what you have done. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you so much for what you will be doing as far as helping um, these Lowe Syndrome families. Again, just like you said, we're all one big family, and it's nice to know we've got a cool uncle in the family that's looking out for the rest of us. Thank you, Thomas, for for all that you do, man. Again, God
I
bless you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. The Waylon Sullivan Foundation. Please donate. Thanks for joining us here at A to Jet Noise. Thank you, Thomas. God bless you and the family. And hopefully we will chat again real soon with some really cool updates on our boys and on the Waylon Sullivan Foundation.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.
Thank you.
We'll see ya.